Hi, my name is Courtney, and I am a 32-year-old single woman living in the Diocese of Erie. And I was asked to share my NFP and NaPro journey with you. And you might be wondering, wait a minute, didn't she say she was single? How does this impact her? Because I thought NaPro doctors helped couples achieve pregnancy, which they do. And they help married women address abnormalities in their cycles so they can either achieve or sustain pregnancy. All true. But what isn't known is how beneficial NaPro and NFP charting is to single women. So my journey started 20 years ago when I suffered a straddle injury from gymnastics when I was 12. And that injury prompted lots of uncomfortable conversations throughout my life around my cycle. So in the medical follow-up that I endured in middle and high school was 3 different doctors who, when I said I suffered my injury and am now struggling with irregular periods, told me the injury would have nothing to do with that, and the only thing they could offer me was birth control. And with that as my only option, I politely declined as a teenager, and left feeling pretty hopeless each time. I had a small glimmer of hope where a faith-filled doctor crossed my path, but unfortunately, myself and my family weren't really well educated about the beauty of the woman that we had in front of us. Her name was Gloria Zibelich, and she prescribed progesterone because she thought I was progesterone deficient. But when my insurance wouldn't cover it, my mom, not knowing or being knowledgeable of NFP and NaPro practices, was like, oh, we can't afford that, sweetie. You're going to have to stop taking it. And then we no longer went to see Dr. Zibelich. So back to mainstream medical I went and continued having issues in college, to which I had the worst experience I've ever had in a mainstream doctor's office. I'm going to share a little bit with you just because I want to juxtapose the two, mainstream and NaPro care. So it was in college in the medical center. I was struggling with heavy periods at that time, and they were still irregular. When they asked me if I was sexually active and said no, they didn't believe me and forced me to take a pregnancy test. Then they proceeded to do a procedure which they never asked my consent for, and didn't tell me what they were doing. So to this day, I still have no idea what they did. And when I said it was excruciatingly painful, they continued to do it anyway. And that particular situation, among many, many others I could share with you in my own journey, is why I no longer seek out mainstream medical care and will not. Because when I fast forward about almost 10 years ago, was a missionary serving in the United States, but we were based in Syracuse, and I had the opportunity to see a NaPro doctor for the first time. So I had that experience to go off of, what I just explained to you. And what I experienced in this office was when they asked me if I was sexually active and I said no, they celebrated me. They celebrated me as a practicing Catholic. They celebrated me in my faith. They didn't make me feel like I was stupid or naive or that I was just lying. There were pictures of Jesus in her office. She prayed with me. And that was just the beginning of a beautiful journey to finding the roots of my problem instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it. So now, when I moved home from being a missionary back to St. Mary's, there is a pretty big desert of NFP practicing doctors medical consultants here. So I currently travel 3 hours to Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, where I see Divine Mercy Women's Health. And I will continue staying with them because they have been absolutely amazing for me. But to have someone in our own diocese where I could potentially stay here, if Lord willing, I'm called to marriage, because right now I'm like, well, my OBGYN, I'm not leaving them and they're in Syracuse, but to have the possibility for the women in our diocese to be able to experience the hope that I've been given through NaPro care, you can't even put words to it. And especially as someone who's been through it and has been on this journey a long time, if you choose to fund this grant, you are helping not only married couples, but you're helping women like me who are longing for their vocation, but also longing for true health and wellness and healing. So I thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best.